Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how I created this environment using AYON Pipeline. As you guys know that in industry standard there will be some kind of pipelines will be followed across the studios. So locally how you will be using. I'll be using OpenPipes AYON. Before moving into pipeline workflow, I'll be showing a simple flowchart I've created for this reference. Like basically I have just separated into few segments like assets, layout and ENV. In the assets, I'm going to create landscape plans and the trees. In the layout, I'm going to create the camera and the scene blocking. Finally, in the ENV, I'm going to assemble all the vegetation scatter and the scene lighting. We will use AYON pipeline for this one. So this is AYON website homepage. You guys can just simply go through it. So the main purpose of using pipeline is to connect every stage of production. Like different artists work on different tasks and softwares, but at the end everything comes together for final render in one DCC. Then the pipeline keeps assets and its versions organized, ensuring a smooth and error-free workflow. Now let's come to the AYON. If you see, I have already deployed AYON in my local machine using Docker. Docker is nothing but a container holding all the required dependencies to run AYON in our local machine. You can just use AI or any other stuffs to deploy it. Make sure the engine is running, otherwise AYON won't wake up. And here is the AYON web, which is running locally on my machine, where we used to create all the projects, tasks and everything. So as you're seeing in the screen, which I created for this particular project. And now for this demonstration, I'll be creating a new project as demo so that I can show you how to create the shots, the task, whatever it is required for your project. There are some default stuffs, you can just go through it. So basically all those stuffs will be saved on your local machine. If you guys have any server, cloud or something, you can just map those things so that it will be saved directly into that server. So for now I'm just going to keep it in my local only. So here you can see my project is created. So there is application option where we can able to select what are the required applications for this particular project. By default I have selected few applications. I'm just going to let it be. Now if you see, it is completely empty. So we are going to create, just for this demonstration I'm just going to create some dummy plans so that I can able to show you how to create and publish it. So first I'm going to create asset and shot. So in the assets we'll be creating a dummy plant. And under this task, so this demo plant is a asset. So under this asset we'll be having multiple tasks like modeling, texturing, look dev. So those are the tasks which I'm adding now. Once it's added, you can see there are multiple tabs beside status and some other things. So you can just set what the current status is. And for the assigners, I'm just going to keep myself only, since this is my local machine. If you guys have any team or something, you can assign it accordingly. In the shot particularly, we'll be having layout, environment, lighting, compositing, whatever the shot requires. Right now we will be creating whatever it is available by default, and I will show you further how we will be creating a task which is not available. As you see, for this environment there is no task available for the environment. Instead there is something called setDress, but we'll be creating particularly the task called environment. So if you go to this anatomy tab, in the task type we can able to create our new task. Right now I'm going to create environment and another task called render camera. Usually camera will be published under layout or match move. Sometimes layout holds multiple camera like projection camera or some other different camera, so it is better to publish the final renderable camera. So if you see, the tasks were created. We can just set the status whatever it is. Now I'm going to set the asset ready to start so that we can clearly know about the current status. So now all our prep works were completed for this project. So now if you see the tray, AYON tray, there will be a call launcher. So I'm going to select my project, this demo project. Now you can see whatever the things we created, it is replicating here. Once you select the task, see how it is showing. These are the applications we selected for this particular project. So I'm going to open Houdini. Once the Houdini opens through AYON launcher, you can see in the top there is a tab called AYON. So you can find the short details and everything. So now switch to Solaris template. Now I'm going to publish this plant in as a component so that we can publish model and look dev together. Now I have imported the plant alembic. So let's resize this. This is just a simple low poly downloaded model. We'll be checking the scale properly with the human. Now I'm going to add a proxy geometry. For this I'm just going to simply use a box. So we will connect like this. This will properly align with the asset scale. Then we will be adding name attribute and the path attribute. Now if you check, our proxy model and this render model is proper. So now we are done with our model. Now we need to create the look dev. I'm not going to create exact proper look dev, but just I'm going to show you how we are going to use our texture, which we are going to publish in our server through AYON. Then from the AYON server, instead of manually calling all the textures and plugging it, I have customized the MaterialX node, which communicates with the AYON's API to call our textures automatically. For that, first we will be publishing all our textures in our asset. So for that I have opened the launcher and I'm going to publish under our publish product. So for this I'm going to select my texture. I'm just drag and dropping it. So you can just turn off the UDIM if it is not required and just give a appropriate variant name. So before publishing, we will be having one validation tool. So just click on it. If there is any error, it will show right away. Right now it doesn't have error, so I'm just going to publish it. So now let's see where these textures got published. As I said initially, so this is my local machine only. So I just gave my local drive path only. Also, you guys might have already observed there are folders which we haven't created manually. So this publish and work folder creates automatically once we start working on our project. So whatever the thing we are saving manually, so that will be goes under work folder. Whichever it is publishing automatically will be goes under publish folder. Now let's come into the material library. We will be creating our USD material builder. Under that I am going to show you the custom MaterialX node, which I customized exclusively to communicate with AYON's API to call the textures automatically, so that the connection process will be even more easier. Now if you observe our MaterialX image node, there are few new features which you can see: publish textures and its versions. So if you just click the drop down, see how it is. These are the textures we published in AYON. See, now as soon as you select the required texture, see, instantly it is replicating. So now the texture is called in your file. So this is happening in real time. So as you switch, automatically the file path will be updated. Now we don't have multiple versions, we just published only one single version, that is why it is showing only one. Now I'm going to approve all the published textures so that I can just filter the versions into approved, so that the artist won't get confused. Let's say texture artist might have published multiple versions, but as a look dev artist might not know which one is to pick, which one is the approved one, which one is the latest one. So instead of guesswork, you can just filter out the version to keep it whether you want the latest or you want the approved one. For that, for this demo purpose, I'm going to republish the same textures as a version 2, so that you can able to see how AYON is upgrading the versions in a single click. Now in the AYON web, you can able to see the version 2 is published. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to make the version 2 as the approved one. Now in the MaterialX node, you can instantly see the version 2 is updated. Now if you filter out the approved, see, it is changed to version 2 from version 1. So this is how you can simply able to call the textures automatically and plug it, instead of manually copying the path or just manually collecting the textures from particular folder or somewhere. Like this you can connect all other required textures. So like this only I have created these many variations. For this plan, for this particular project, I have created only one geometry with multiple material variations using the same method. So we can publish this component builder through AYON. Just click the component output node and hit publish in the AYON tab. In the create option, just select the appropriate task and the product. So here I'm just choosing USD component, and the variant name appropriately you can just name it. It should be meaningful. And as usual, you just do the validation check and go for publish. Once it's published, so let me cross verify by loading the published cache whether it is working properly or not. So just right click and load it as reference. Now see, the reference node is created and you can see all the things were published properly. You can see the material variations and everything. So like this only I have created rest of the assets as per my reference. So I had only one other asset, which is the tree. So that is also I just created in a similar way, but it has, instead of material variation, it has only the geometry variation. So the geometry is different, the materials are sharing same. So I just created in the same way. So I can just check this reference. So this is the model I just quickly created in speed tree. For this project, I'm not going to use any alpha maps or anything. This is just going to be a proxy tree model only. It doesn't have proper details and all. Just going to be a BG scatter. So far, we have published our tree and plant models. So the leftover is only the ground. So why I left that ground is, it is easier to create the ground once we have block our camera and the layout, so that we can know where we are going to look and how much distance the ground is going to be, so that we can create the details accordingly. So far we have created all our assets inside Houdini and we published from Houdini. Now what if some artists might have comfortable with Maya? So the process is quite same only. So you create whatever you want in whichever software. So the basic idea is, irrespective of software, we'll be accumulating all the assets in a single DCC. So for that I have purposefully created the layout inside Maya. So I have created the proxy ground and the trees in the depth and the camera. So we are going to publish from Maya like same only. So the Maya also we can open launch through AYON only. So I have already launched through AYON. So we are going to publish in the same way. So the UI will be similar across all the softwares. Now under the shot, select the shot, select the task layout and select the Maya USD in the product and give the appropriate variant name. So once you create the product, you can just do the validation process and hit publish. The main concern about switching one DCC to another DCC is the unit conversion, the orientation issue. Let's say Houdini deals with meter while Maya deals with centimeter, so that the scale, the conversion, everything will get changed. So we can customize that script and everything will be published in the same units. So that is what you are seeing here. We published from Maya and we have imported in Houdini. You can see everything is looks same. Since we are logged our layout in Maya, now I'm going to Blender for adding bit more details in our ground. So this is what I created. So if you see, I have just created the ground, and in the hierarchy if you observe, I have created proxy and the render. In Houdini, by default through component builder, if you just plug the assets in proxy output, automatically that proxy purpose will be created. But in Blender natively doesn't support that. But for that I just customized the script so that it will support that proxy and the render in Houdini. Once I publish this from Blender, I can show you that in Houdini how it is looking. As usual, we can publish same like what we have done from Houdini and Maya. Now again in Houdini, I'm going to load the published cache from Blender. So I'm going to import it as reference. So if you see the proxy and render, it is showing. Now we can check the viewport whether it is properly showing the proxy purpose and the render purpose. If you guys really wanted to know how I just customize the script, just do comment below. I can plan to do a proper dedicated video on that. And then I just created dummy material and assigned it. I'm just going to publish that ground as a USD as usual. So far we have created all our layout, camera assets required. So by using them we can start scatters. I have already did the scatters. I'm just not going to show you how I scattered and all, that will take even more time. So basically I'm just going to show you how we are going to publish our scatters. As you see, these are our published assets. This is the plant. So I'm just using all the material variations, and these are our material variations. And this is our tree. So as per my reference, I just scattered. So if you just see, I'll just enable node one by one so that you can see how it is done. With just one simple geo only, different material, I just scattered. Nothing much complicated. Before publishing, make sure you have keep all your scatters in bounding box so that that scene will be lightweight. As usual, I just published this as USD. So far we have published our layout, environment, and similarly I have just in backend I just published lighting and the camera. Now this is important part of the video. Let's say if you are working in a studio as an environment artist or lighting artist, where you're supposed to launch the final render from the 3D side. So you might be very well aware of the environment you created or the lighting you created, but you might not be aware of the rest of the dependent departments. Let's say if there is environment, lighting, CFX, EFX, or any other related departments for that particular shot. If you are going to launch the final render, you should not be rendering the wrong one. Might be render with the launching render with the wrong camera, or launching render with the wrong light, or the old outdated lights, or the old scatters, whatever it is. So to avoid all these issues, I have created a custom tool called short build. Let me drop the short build node. As you see, this is the short build tool which I created. What this node does is this will accumulate all the published data from the downstream pipelines, whether it can be layout, whatever it is published under short, everything will be accumulated with this node. So once you click build short button, everything will be accumulated. As you see in the parameter, all the published products and its versions are showing in the hierarchy. Also you can able to see whatever it is published. In one single node, you will be getting all the data of the downstream departments. Also can able to enable and disable whatever the things you wanted to be launched in the final render, so that will completely avoids the confusion or mismatch rendering. So usually for the final render, we don't keep the layout, so that is just for the cross check purpose whether the all the assets or the camera is proper. Now in the render setting, just select the main renderable camera and keep the desired render settings, and we can without any hesitation can launch the render. And if you guys wanted how to create these kind of custom tools, just do comment below. I can plan to do a dedicated video on these kind of stuffs. As soon as I ready with my render settings, if I hit render, see, without any issues, without any guesswork, whatever the latest or the approved ones published down the stream, you will be rendering with the proper one without any mismatches. So we can freely and without any hesitations launch the render in a single tool. Apparently we can do the same thing for the nuke as well, to make sure the compers are doing comp with the proper approved renders. And that's it guys. So this is all about this video is. So if you guys found these things useful, just drop a comment below, and if you want any other further video, just let me know in the comments. Otherwise you can ping me directly in LinkedIn as well. Thank you.